So, I'm back to telling the story about Alfred Terry Zirkle. Um, so we're in Salt Lake City, and what he's doing for work during the time, he's got kind of different business dealings. He's got a new growing family, and he's a new member of the church, and he's also got two new stepdaughters. So we were kind of, I don't know, we were the outlets to his anger, but the theme of presenting, a perfect front, being, the perfect family outside of the house, and inwardly and inside, it was just rotten. It was, my mom and Fred were just at each other all the time, and it was pretty bad. It was hell, and lots of abuse happened behind closed doors. I remember when I was in middle school. I don't remember in sixth grade, but in seventh and eighth grade, I got braces, and at the time, everybody just kind of had like the little dot braces, like everybody did. And my parents wanted to save money, and they chose this like orthodontist that was inexpensive, but also like he was the son of some wealthy people in the Federal Heights area. And this guy like put full metal bands, which is what that's what people used to have. And it was horrible. Like it just like it was so painful. And I had headgear, so very much like 16 Candles. And I was really scrawny. Like I was just awkward in every single way. And the family would get pictures taken all the time. And I was always the comic relief. I became like the favorite person to mock, and I looked terrible. And one of the things that had been a dynamic before they married was maybe his oldest daughter, I'm not sure, but my mom was always like she decided something, and she like wanted me to do it. So she'd buy her like fashion trends, and I didn't want to stand out. Like I'm incredibly shy, and I didn't want to wear these clothes, or didn't want to have these like hair. I didn't want to experiment. I didn't want to stand out, and it didn't matter. So in seventh grade, when I was in elementary school, I'm gonna say like I really loved education. Like I was really involved in school all the time. And when we came to Salt Lake, it was no different. It was I really had an awesome class. I remember some cool things we did. We did kind of like we did mock trials. Like kids probably do that, but it was like Big Bad Wolf, and like we had to take fairy tales from and be an attorney for like the side of the, reimagine fairy tales and like defend the villains kind of thing. And then like our health classes were very in depth, and I just like something that I could easily memorize and enjoy. Like we had to walk the whole path of like the blood flow through like all the chambers of the heart and like through the whole body. And there was a huge a huge thing on the ground that we followed, and we had to like say it out loud. That was like our test, and I was loving that. And then seventh grade, you know, we went to the bigger school, which was the junior high. It was like a whole new group of friends, and I just like, you know, enjoyed my classes. And so at some point, I don't know if it was like, okay, so in the beginning of seventh grade, they had an award. Like the teachers would, I don't know, like vote. It was called the Bryant Brave of the Month, and anyway, you'd get nominated, and then they'd like call whoever was the winner. And like I guess I was nominated, and I didn't really, I wasn't paying attention to it, and I didn't get it, which was also very, like, it was fine with me. But I remember, I think it's the end of seventh grade, there was like, I guess I was nominated again, and I got it. And also, one day I came home and there was a sweatshirt on my bed that said BYU, like, and my parents were like, "Oh, congratulations, you know, for getting good grades." And I don't know, for me, there was just so much going on, like in school and all that time, like all this stuff at home, and school was you know, kind of my refuge and fun. So, you know, you don't get grades in elementary school, and then to suddenly, like, I don't know, like, nobody like sat with me ever and went over my like progress reports or anything like that. So I didn't even know I was, you know, I was getting good grades. The sweatshirt was like, what? Like, okay, whatever, I don't know. And so, yeah, it was weird. And then, but I guess I was making them happy because I was making them look good. But they weren't like really into my life at all. They didn't know a lot that was going on. Once I got braces and the headgear, I mean, I was the butt of every joke at home. And that's really where my fear of being on camera really developed. I mean, that's where it started. We would, you know, send pictures or send video to like family, and everybody would laugh. And I was goofy, but like, as you kind of start, you know, getting into high school and stuff, like, that is not cool. And as a girl, that's not cool. And there were, I don't know, guys that I have like crushes on. And at the end of 8th grade, like, I was brave enough to actually write in somebody's yearbook that I had a crush on him. And he tore out the page and dropped it on the floor. And everybody saw it in the whole junior high. Like, I died like 1,000 deaths. I still haven't, like, that was horrible. Like, I was brave enough to admit I had a crush, and it was so disgusting and horrifying to him that, like, he tore it out. That was the worst. It was, another thing was, like, so in LDS culture, you have, like, I don't know, classes by the year that you are, and so I was the only girl in the whole board that was my age. Like, there were girls in the grade up from me and girls on the grade lower, but I was the only one in the Federal Heights ward that was my age, and that was hard in the beginning, especially because, you know, these girls had lived there like all their lives. And so, I mean, I was kind of grouped with the older girls, and I was really uncool, and they were very cool. So it was kind of a lonely time. And in 6th grade, I met a girl named Katika, and I loved that name. I really liked her, it was the kind of thing that I guess my parents saw that before I did, and I didn't. They saw that before I did, and they were like, oh, that summer they were like, what's he gonna do if you're like not friends, with Katika when you go to junior high? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, of course I'm gonna be like, why wouldn't I? And